Hello everybody, it's Trey here. Welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.2 version 6. Today we have a 3v3 on Dead Marshes. Let's get into it. There we go. Much better. I was recording this in medium graphics and I was like, wait. I'll restart on high graphics. Why would I do that? We have ManzDad as Mordor there in the top right. In the top center we have Eber as Elves. That's what they're called. And then we have MayShadowF as Angmar, their final player on their team. The opposing team, we have QuaSar, I think is how that's pronounced. Could be wrong, but I'm going to go with QuaSar. Mordor there in this bottom left. We have Megrim as Goblins in the center, and the final player on their team is Hombre as Men of the West. So we got Men of the West, Goblins, Mordor, versus Angmar, Elves, and Mordor. Cool. And we don't have any mirrors either, which is always good. So it should be a good game, I hope. They said back and forth 3v3 in the replay title, so that sounds pretty good, right? Let's hope so. Alright, let's see what ManzDad's going to go for orcs immediately. There you go. We have a green pasture being thrown down by Aber. And we have a troll in wolf den, which is an unusual start. So, MayShadowF is probably going to go for the dire wolves, I would assume. I mean, you would not realistically rush snow trolls while you're being attacked. That seems unlogical, so yeah. But even dire wolves, I don't think would be very good against orcs. They're good against pikemen, they eat pikemen alive. But orcs, not so much. They might be good for harassment, though. They're quick. They'll outmaneuver these orcs pretty easily. Nope, he is actually going to rush snow trolls. Fascinating. Alright, we'll see how that works out for MayShadow. Megrim's going for goblin caves. He's got goblins pumping out here currently. And we have Hombre going for Gondor soldiers there from his barracks. And he's continuing to get some. He's also throwing an archer range to get some archers. Fantastic. It looks like he's about to engage over here with ManzDad, who does have some orc warriors, which not gonna be enough, of course, to outclass Gondor soldiers. Hombre, of course, putting his guys in shield wall and putting them on hold ground stance so they get increased their armor. Because, of course, attack speed does not matter, or decrease their attack damage. They still outclass orcs, though. And there comes the Rivendell Lancers from Aber. A nice run through there. I'd love to do a few run throughs, though. But he's going to continue going through and try to get these ones. If he gets a flank on those, he's actually going to insta-kill them, and they do indeed. Flanking damage is pretty brutal, and it definitely shows it in full effect right there. And now it looks like ManzDad is on the attack here. He might get this farm as well. In fact, I would venture to say who will. But Hombre's army is building in strength. He's got archers, pikes, and swordsmen now. Megrim is pushing up through the center here. Hasn't reached anywhere yet, but we do indeed have snow trolls from MayShadow, which will do very well, of course, against the orcs. But it's just an unusual start, is all. It's a bold move, and I commend him for that, I guess. Alright, Megrim's going for an attack here. He's got a lot of clumped goblin warriors. Of course, Rivendell Lancers don't want to go through there. Those are Lindens, though. They can actually stand back and shoot, so that's good. If you clip the outsides of them, though, and not get stuck in the center, you can kill a few. He lost one guy there. But the Linden should be able to help with that pretty nicely, I think. We now have Orc Archers going up against Megrim's Goblin Warriors there. Tail Lane being thrown down by, looks like ManzDad, as he's getting the buff. And the Rivendell Lancers coming for the aid. And the Snow Trolls, there's now 2 battalions of them. And of course, if his ally, the Elves, would place him a healing thing, he'd be placing one for himself, he could send his guys over there and heal up. So these will never die. Snow Trolls are very strong. Very strong. They're definitely worth the 700. But it definitely helps to have at least 3 battalions of them, for them to truly be really effective in trampling, I feel. 2 to 3 battalions is a pretty good number. Of course, it always depends on how many units you're trampling, I guess. Same with any cav. The Orc Archers and Orc Warriors seem to be doing well here. This builder... I mean, I don't know if that's a good spot for that. I mean, it is a great spot for that, don't get me wrong. But he threw it down right in the middle of the enemy army. It's pretty bold. But fortune favors the bold, you know what they say. And I'm not sure if that's entirely true, but hey, I'll go with that. We now have Easterlings out for QuaSar. And he's going for direwolves as well. How good are the direwolves against Goblin Warriors? I mean, they do alright. Seems like they give more than they get, even with the cave bats. So yeah, I guess direwolves work against Goblin Warriors, sort of. Probably not a direct counter, but yeah. Well, of course they're not a direct counter. They're a counter to pikes, but you get my drift. Goblin Warriors are so weak, they die anyway. You know, ManzDad's on the attack. Here come the Rivendell Lancers for the charge there on the archer line of Hombre, getting a nice run through and getting out. Very nice indeed. Getting a nice run through there as well. Definitely helps to have a cav faction on your side, eh? As a support. Elves are actually a great support team. Probably one of the best support teams, I feel. They got pretty decent cav. Great archers, obviously. They got heroic statues, they got wells, they got heal. They got all kinds of things that can support your allies. They're just generally really good. And they even have an eagle if you wanted to build one of those. ManzDad's now sitting on 4 orc pits in a Haradrim Palace. And he's throwing down a lumber mill there. Definitely good to get those lumber mills out. MayShadow's continuing to use the direwolves. Has he just not used the Hall of the King's Men at all? Wow. And he's upgrading it to level 3, the Troll and Wolf Den, so he can get hill trolls. Intriguing. Definitely not a strat you see normally. But I like it. I like it. I like seeing players try something new instead of the same old strategies. Nothing wrong with the same old strategies, of course. They're that way for a reason, because they work. But seeing new things is also kind of cool. Not saying Snow Troll spam is new, but Snow Trolls and Direwolves is not really a combo you see on the field too often, I feel. And of course these things are going to eat through Easterlings very, very well. Little known fact, that they're actually a little bit OP against pikemen, I feel. They literally eat through them like butter. I mean, watch these things drop. Although, they're not the tankiest of things, but they are eating through the Easterlings very nicely. I mean, look at that. Just a brutal slaughter against Easterlings. So definitely utilize your direwolves if you're attacking pikemen, because they do well. They do well. Something most players don't actually utilize is the direwolf, I feel, majority of the time. They do die to archer fire fairly quickly, but I mean, such is the way, I guess. Just gotta get used to that. Keep them safe, keep them secret. You know how it is. But the war between ManzDad and Hombre continues to rage on. Hombre ManzDad rather, sending an army through the western side, the eastern side, as well as the western side there. Attacking from multiple fronts. Hombre defending on multiple fronts. It's always good to try and attack from multiple fronts if you can, of course. And ManzDad doing a good job of getting the statue to become nullified as well. I think he's still being buffed by it. I'm not entirely sure the range, but it looks like he's being buffed. Still not enough, though. Hombre just does not have the men there. Megrim sending aid in the form of 1,000,000 Goblin Warriors. Megrim's upgraded his fortress armor. Interesting. He's either just worried about his fortress, or he's going to go for a fire drake at some point, maybe. But he does have a lot of goblin caves there, which is pretty good. There's the debuff on the enemy army, and the run through from the cav of Aber. Ooh. Very nice. Mass cav is quite an annoying thing to deal with, I know. From personal experience, of course. So, when one of your teammates goes mass cav, it's probably a good idea, usually. I feel, at least. In a, at least 3v3 and upwards. 2v2, not so much, of course. Because your direct enemy will be at your gates before you know it. Unless you're countering him pretty nicely with it, but... Megrim is on the attack here. He's taking some lives. But nothing the elves can't heal up, of course. As they can just go back over here and heal up. I think Aber was just fine there. See how things are going over here. Snowbind has been thrown down on this mill here to save it. Fellwind thrown down on the army, and the direwolves will start picking off troops. Looks like... Oh, there's also barrel whites in there. So I guess it's a white summon. No, if that was a white summon, they wouldn't have a... Did he untape Allegiance a white layer? He did. Interesting. He's pumping out whites. Barrel whites. 15 command points for a barrel white and 150. And of course, they're actually very, very strong against orcs. As they'll just keep healing. Orcs don't do enough damage to kill off a barrel white. So it's actually a smart play there. Utilizing untamed allegiance in such a manner. I like it. I like MayShadow's play this game, I'm gonna be honest. It's nice. It's real nice. We got Black Riders potentially coming out here. It's the only reason I would think you would go for a level 3 siege works, unless you just want that 25% faster build speed, of course, for your catapults. And Megrim indeed did get a Fire Drake. Very cool. Goblin Warrior spam Fire Drake should be a pretty good combo there. Megrim's also helping in the defense of Hombre's lands here against ManzDad there. And things seem to be going fairly alright for the Mordor player over here, QuaSar. He hasn't really been attacked too much in his base, mainly putting the pressure on MayShadowF. And he's still just using that. Alright. Surprised he hasn't at least built a second one or something. But I guess he doesn't need to. We'll see if that's his downfall or not. Trying to make a game work on one production building. I can see that being a problem. Oh, the Fire Deck's level 6. He has an Inferno now. Level 5 he gets that, of course. And they are absolutely stoked that there's a Fire Drake around them. Cheering it on. As they should be. Sparrow White will probably do a little bit of damage to Megrim's army. Yep, he realizes this. And he's going to send the Fire Drake to deal with that first, before he sends his Goblin Warriors through. Otherwise he's going to lose a lot of Goblin Warriors in the process. We do have Black Riders out for ManzDad. A great choice, of course. I wonder how good the Fire Drake does against Black Riders. In theory, it should wreck them, but I'm not sure. As Nazgul, of course, are weak to fire. But would the Fire Drake last long enough? I don't actually know. Some questions need answers. Black Riders are more expensive, though, if you think about it. So I don't know. MayShadow is definitely in a lot of trouble. The Eagle Summon being brought in from Aber to help defend his ally. He's also got his Fort Snowbound, and the Elves are here as well, defending some archers. He's trying the Hill Trolls and the Direwolves. The Snow Troll starts. And it seems like he's being overwhelmed a little bit. But with the Elves' help, he should be able to defend him off. Aber's also helping over here, of course, with some archers. Just really helping out. Being placed by ManzDad. Ooh. These Black Riders are getting caught out here. One falls. Of course, they'll just run away and level up as soon as they get past level 2. Or get to level 2, rather. They start regenerating. They're units, so it's not the biggest of deals as long as you keep them alive. And it's also utilizing catapults. Very good. Very good. I guess the charge through. Fairly effective. Killing many goblin warriors. And all things are quiet in MayShadow's base for now. But not for long, I fear. He's also on the offensive with Barrow-wights. Very nice. Surprised they haven't done anything about the Barrow-wight lair. If I was QuaSar, I'd probably go take up the Barrow-wight lair, as it's probably pretty annoying. But probably not the end of the world either, if he doesn't. Because one Barrow-wight isn't that deadly. I guess it kind of is, actually. Unless it gets shot down by archers, it is kind of actually that deadly, because it never dies. There goes the snow trolls, losing a fair amount of numbers there. He almost lost that battalion. They're starting to regenerate. Ooh, very close indeed. He's got to be very careful with the snow trolls. As long as there's a fair amount of Easterlings and archers in this Mordor army with the drummer troll support, I think he'll be just fine against the Angmar composition. And we have a Drogoth the Dragon Lord out from Megrim. Very cool. He's utilizing fire drakes. He's utilizing Drogoths, goblin warriors. I like it. Here comes the charge from the elves. Very nice. Absolutely obliterated the goblin warrior line there. And now Hombre seems to be mounting an offensive here off in the east. Bombadil getting a nice sonic song there. And that, of course, is Hombre's Bombadillo. Ooh, the Elven Mist being thrown down there. Cheeky. Very good though. Of course, that's used to debuff the enemy and make yourself invisible. It's always a good power to use. I feel like Megrim is building pretty good strength here. He's just spamming the shit out of goblin warriors. Look at that. There's just an entire field of goblin warriors. Madness. We had a barrage here. Took out something. Probably MayShadow's army, I'd imagine. I don't see his snow trolls anywhere. So without MayShadow's army, that would be pretty bad. Looks like he has opted to abandon the only Troll and Wolf Den strategy and go for some Hall of the King's Men to get some thralls and going for sorcerers as well. So we potentially see some Wells of Souls or Corpse Rains or some stuff like that, which is always fun. Sorcerer is a huge strength of Angmar, so I definitely recommend it. Especially against goblins. Well of Souls is incredible. You'll have a million Barrow-wights out in the field in no time. Ooh. That is a thing. The Goblin Warriors are not having a good day. It's gotta be said. I wonder if Drogoth is still alive. Yes, he is indeed. Good. I would love to see Drogoth level up. It's always fun. Drogoth is a lot of fun to use. His powers are really satisfying, like his Fire Flight and his Incinerate and stuff. Even the Fireball is pretty fun. And in he goes. Crunch. Very nice. Looks like Megrim also has Scavenger. Of course, as you expect goblins to have. He's getting money for skills, which is always good. Gun goes a long shot. Took a few guys there. The Black Riders are out in the field. They'll be a bit nullified now that there's Drogoth. So I gotta be very cautious. Of course, they can't fight back against the against flying units of any kind. We do have Felbeast, of course, out for ManzDad there. Looks like QuaSar is making a push into MayShadow's base. And Aber and MayShadow are on the defensive here. Drummer Troll is definitely being utilized very nicely. It's really helping. I can guarantee you that leadership is pretty huge for Mordor, actually. It's the only way they can get leadership, so you should definitely use it. Plus their fear ability from the drummer troll is very good as well. And if you can get the drummer troll up close, they can smack some things around, so that's always fun. Oh, King Theoden's being leveled up by Hombre just by standing next to archers. He'll have glorious charge in no time at this rate. The blight goes down, and that's going to make things problematic, I think. Oh, if those Black Riders can get a good run through, there you go. And the chain reaction has started. And now the army of Hombre is going to start falling, although at the sacrifice of Black Riders. Was that worth it? Maybe. Maybe he should have pulled the Black Riders out sooner, I think, but they probably got stuck. So, Hombre's army is crushed there, but at a expensive cost. But he could probably get his Black Riders back here shortly. He's also getting heavy armor, and he's got... Well, he doesn't have Forge Blades yet. But he's going for heavy armor on his troops. Looks like Aber has done the same. He's got heavy armor equipped on his guys. So these elves will be a bit more tanky. Snow trolls there for MayShadow. QuaSar's building another army to get ready. Megrim is running amok in the center with a Fire Drake into Shelob. Azog as well. Did I call him Azog? I mean, he calls himself Azog. I call him Azog. I don't know why I said Azog. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? And Rivendell Lancers also have armor upgrades. Rivendell Lancers and Lindens, that's what they're called. Fire Drake's doing well to counter those, though. And also, this... he would do well to counter them as well. Oh, there goes the flood on the base of Hombre. Got rid of the archer range and the barracks. Where's the eagle summon? Ah, there it is. Very nice. That eagle summon is going to tear those goblins a new one. Gothmog against Shelob. Looks like Gothmog's winning, of course. Gothmog gets a huge buff to his damage. 200% damage is pretty huge. Gothmog is one of the more dangerous heroes in melee there when he uses that ability. I'd argue more dangerous than Lurtz. I don't think Lurtz gets 200%, does he? So actually, that's pretty huge. We have Gorkill as well out in the field. So Megrim's got all his heroes, it looks like. Very cool. The Witch King is out on the field as well. Very cool. He needs to get him to level 2 ASAP though, at least so he gets that Dread Wrath. Dread Wrath, I believe, is minus 33% armor and damage to enemies. So it's exact opposite of leadership. If I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. After reading something earlier today. At least that's what it will be. I think that's what it is now though. And Dread Visage, which is the lower tier version. Oh boy. Looks like there was a Blight here, or a Well of Souls. Probably a Well of Souls though. Lower tier version, I believe, is 25% minus. He said 33. So Dread Visage doesn't quite nullify leadership. There you go. Jeez. MayShadow seemed to have gotten a good engagement there with either Blight or Well of Souls. Oh, Jesus. Let's have a look at powers while we're here. It's a lot louder when you have somebody viewed, isn't it? But he is very close to Balrog. He's got Barrage. Hombre is at 22 after getting Cloudbreak. He could go for Earthquake or Army of the Dead. Apparently everyone's out. So that's a thing. We have Summon Giants and Blight for MayShadow. I'm just looking at the top tier powers, really. We could figure by ourselves that he has the smaller powers. Nothing big for QuaSar, though. He has no good powers, really. Barricade's okay. Other than that, eh? Everyone's at the 25, so he's not even close. Aber, of course, has got himself Flood, Eagles, 17 power points now. And the Grim has himself 24. He almost have 25. So we'll be seeing Balrog very soon. I look forward to it. And I remember Balrog is after Worm. Of course, he went on that tree anyway, so it's pretty obvious. There's a lot of units from the top team here. Just congregating, waiting for something. Something like, we do have Balrog. I'm ready. And there is the Well of Souls. Many a Goblin warriors are going to die here. And they're going to turn into just armies of Bear Whites. And this is what I meant by Well of Souls is extremely good against Goblins. They're so numerous and weak. They just massively turn into Bear Whites very easily. You have a giant summon at the base of Hombre there. He does have a trebuchet, but that won't do much. Aragorn, though, will, of course. And they should take that down before the giants do any real damage. Also, Drogoth could be used to stop that, but there he goes. I think things are starting to swing in this... maybe not. I can't really tell who's winning, to be honest. I feel QuaSar's lack of power points might do them in the end. Because everyone else has their big powers and is getting their big powers, is where he is not even close. So that could be a problem. And Hombre could potentially be overwhelmed as well over here. Megrim trying desperately not to lose his Drogoth there. Which is very smart, of course. He's not a cheap hero. Ooh, down goes the barrage. Fire Drake out of there, but Hombre's base once again being ravaged. Fortunately, he did not lose his level 3 or level 2 archer range and level 2 barracks there. And there's the Balrog and Deadly Megrims. And that should do pretty good damage to MayShadow's base there. If he utilizes it correctly, of course, which he should. Of course, that's that's assuming the pathfinding of Balrog could actually function properly for once. Which it does not seem to be doing very well. I can tell he's trying to breathe fire on it, but it's not working, so he's opting just to hit it instead, which is probably wise. Sometimes breathe fire is very buggy to use for Balrog. But he really should be igniting if he's going to be doing anything, I think. He'd do a lot more damage. So potentially that's a bit of a mistake for Megrim, I think. There he goes. You can at least shut that down. And down it goes. He wasted a swing on it. Oh dear. But he's pretty much crippled the base of MayShadow with it. Regardless. So that's good. Very good indeed. So we got Well of Souls going down again. Well of Souls itself doesn't really do much though. It just puts a little bit of poison damage on, and if they die within, I think it's 10 seconds, they start to turn to Bear Whites. But if you don't follow it up with anything, like Fell Strength or something like that, arrows, anything, then you won't get much out of it. Against Goblin Warriors though, if you put Well of Souls down and you hit them with Fell Strength actually does damage. And it will actually kill some Goblin Warriors and start a chain reaction. So that's a good way to use sorcerers. If I could recommend that to anyone. It's not terrible against orcs either. Since they're not really that much stronger than goblins. Ooh, Drogoth's got Fireflights. Nice. So Roger Archers got wrecked. Fire Drake unfortunately lost its life as well. And we have another Balrog summon. This time undoubtedly from ManzDad. Indeed it is. There it is. Beautiful. Hombre is in a lot of trouble, I think. Oh, we got a Shade of the Wolf. Where do we have a Shade of the Wolf? There it is. In case you didn't know, Shade of the Wolf absolutely destroys Balrog. But looks like both sides have summoned a big ol' unit. Let's watch Shade of the Wolf for a bit. We don't get to see Shade of the Wolf nearly as much as we do Balrog, do we? Nice. He's got that power, of course, which is Call the Pack? Call the Pack, yeah. It's pretty good against the building it's right in front of. He's also got stun surrounding units, and he can eat. I still don't think he's as good as Balrog, of course, at just running bases and stuff. But he's not terrible either. Oh my goodness. The amount of barrel weights that were just here is something. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that Hombre's base is being absolutely... No, I think that all around the northern team is winning here. Definitely. Because Megrim's having to help heavily on either side, really. And Aber is not in any danger whatsoever. So he's easily able to support wherever he needs to. And of course, they're trying to take out Hombre. And if they can succeed, they will nullify that side. Probably win the game, I'd imagine. The fort is close. Sounds like Shady the Wolf has dissipated. The Witch King is gonna get this fort, isn't he? It's so close. So close. Orcs have showed up to help finish, and down it goes. Hombre is down. And that is one less player for the bottom team. I think that will seal the deal. As it doesn't seem to be going much better over here for QuaSar, I'd say. And now that he's going to have to take the full brunt of pretty much everything that Aber and MayShadowF have, it probably won't end well. Megrim will have to deal with ManzDad probably, fully, as well as Aber. So it probably won't go well for him, I'd imagine. Somebody got hit with flood, but I'm not sure where. I heard it, but I don't see. I don't see it. Whatever. MayShadow's moving in with the sorcerers, equipped with Well of Souls. God, that Black Orc death sound. I do hope that gets adjusted accordingly for the next patch, because holy shit, it's so annoying. Alright. Yeah, this game's definitely going to be over here soon. It's got to be. I mean, what chance could the southern team possibly have at this point? Against such overwhelming odds. I don't know why you would have to move your giants so close there. Down goes the Well of Souls, Fell Wind. Oh, a few of them did die though. Is that a Gorgoth Spire? It is indeed. Yeah, beautiful. These giants are still alive though, which is a problem. QuaSar cannot deal with the giants, and of course MayShadow still has Waldar defending them with some Axors there. So you should be able to take the fort. So it doesn't look like QuaSar has anything left to defend. He's not even building units at this point. And Aber and ManzDad are closing in on Megrim's base. Look at that mass cav. Ah yes, beautiful. The Watcher getting a nice summon right under the Elves. Decimating majority of them. A lot of them got out of there though. And of course they can heal up. A lot of these are level 5 as well, jeez. I guess they have been alive for a long time. That will happen. And Treebeard is leading the charge. A sad day for our Goblins though. And Mordor like. The giants are gone. They did not quite take the fort. So it seems MayShadow is going to need something else. Should really get a siege works himself. And then he could take it out easily. But he's not. There's the worm summon from Megrim once again. It's probably going to die pretty quick though, considering the amount of stuff shooting it and attacking him. He might get one breathe fire if he's lucky. Unfortunately, he does it in the wrong direction. Ah, sad day. Beacons being placed. Just having a look, I don't know why. Level 6 eagle, nice. I didn't even see the eagle being used. QuaSar has been defeated, there you go. Megrim's been defeated as well. And the game is over. Northern team takes the victory. That was a good match. That was pretty back and forth. Until, of course, Hombre finally fell. That was pretty good. But yeah, I think QuaSar's lack of power points definitely did him in on that side. As the other teams had Well of Souls and all kinds of powers to use against him. That was pretty tough. But it was good. I enjoyed that. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that as well. So I'll see you guys in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.2 version 6. See you all next time.